person who you had record did not display your loadout as far as I can tell.
Oh,
But I remember it and it was fine, so just past that.
okay.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to narrate so you tell me what happened? Or do you want me to?
Um, I'll just so at the beginning of the game, I looked at our comp and I might be wrong, but I was really hesitant to play high ground because like I didn't want to get crippled into Amani fireball into fucking one shot from Andro and be dead. And term buck, like I feel like our comp is really strong in quarry side, but nobody really played that, so I didn't really know like where to be.
Okay, so with Io on this map, you can't be high ground. Your heal range is just not long enough to reach point. And also it requires constant line of sight, and you're gonna heal like nobody if you're high ground. So where you played generally was fine. Like you have to be on low ground. And your thought of your team probably wins quarry, I think so too. And I actually, so the first point fight, your team didn't really go quarry or didn't take control of it, which I think you kind of assumed they would, but they didn't, and that kind of led to you dying really fast. But then the later point fights, they did a much better job, and you should have committed a bit harder to that side.
Okay.
So that like in general, I just watched it once. That was my feeling. I think like in general you were fine. There were just like a couple things that you could probably tighten up on. But like in general, like I really didn't think Io does not play high ground. I don't know how you play Io on high ground on this map.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. And then for the most part, Amani was not an issue for you.
Yeah.
I'll just play. I don't
3, 2, 1. Let
So if
the
you want to
battle
pause
begin.
and say something, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll
Uh,
let it run and pause.
can you turn it down a little bit?
More? I have it almost at
Oh,
like.
I'm sorry. It's loud AF.
Am
Okay.
I also loud?
You're good.
That's a yes. I'm like hardly talking.
No,
But
no,
okay.
no. You're not loud. The
Okay.
video's loud.
Do you see how low I have this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. This is good.
I'm
This
gonna
is a lot
mute
better.
it. Okay. So yeah, so from here you can see that no one on your team is Corey.
Yeah.
In which case you can get pushed very easily from this side. You know that Andro is either probably gonna push you from here or gonna wrap around here, right?
Mhm.
At this point, you don't see anyone yet, but at this point, I think you see the Andro. So you drop the dog there. The At this point, you need to back out like immediately. I don't even see where your team is, but somewhere behind you, I guess.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I can't even see them on the right side, which means they haven't made it very far. But it's a little risky. Basically, if you play Io on this map, you need to tell your team to at least contest Quarry so that you can safely do what you just did and put the dog here. Otherwise, you could have like just come down this side and then from this like behind the boxes here, drop the dog here and play that angle. But then that means your team has control of the lava side, which I guess they do. Again, I don't know where they are really. Um, you shouldn't even have taken those shots at Andrew. You need to like immediately backed out.
Okay. That
Um,
was so bad.
the jump I thought was okay. Oh, one thing I noticed that you do is you go in sometimes a bit too far, and then you rely on your jump to get out. And I thought about it. I'm like, your jumps were actually pretty good. Like you'd use your jumps better than I do. But I think I just try to play safer overall and then use the jump less, but you rely on it a little bit more, if that makes sense. Like you're too far in, I think, and your jump got you out, but you also like jumped really late too.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah. I feel like I need to pay more attention to where I'm jumping to. Like jumping here, literally the dumbest thing I could have done. I rewatched this game too, and like I feel like I might have been safer if I jumped right instead of left. Like there's less cover, but also it put me away from Andro maybe? Or
Again, I'm
no.
not entirely sure where your team was, but if your team did have right covered, then yes. Preferably, I would have done. I want to see if I can. There's not a place on this map right now. So you know the ramp that's right behind here where you can't really see?
Yeah, that goes into the building.
Yeah, so if your team isn't controlling here, drop the dog on point as fast as possible and then just play off of that ramp. Because off of that ramp, you can line of sight Corey if you need to, but no one's in there. But you can also get enough range to point to heal your tank. You play there like later on in the game, but that would have been a safer place to play versus if you jumped to the right, that's out in the open. That's still less safe.
Okay.
Because then if you go up the ramp, you can back into your room. So like you put a corner around, like a corner between you and Andrew and anyone else trying to push you, which is just safer. And then that room, if you back out of that room, that's another corner. That's safer.
Was putting dog on point there not needed? Because term kind of I could have potentially used dog to not be
Um,
on point at the beginning since tanks typically go to point at like the start.
I like to put dog on point as IO at the start, especially at the beginning of the game. You just need to do it safer. You just need to know where your team is. If your team is covering right side, you can approach point from the right side. Again, as IO on this map, I just feel so awkward because my team needs to control Corey for me to really put it on point safely. Everything else feels kind of awkward.
Okay, yeah.
Again, if your team isn't controlling Corey, your best bet is just to play off that ramp. I can't think of a better place to play. Like I can't think of a safer place to play.
Yeah, IO's not. It's hard on this map.
It's
Like,
a little awkward.
yeah.
I think your team definitely did better as the game went on. But if you think you're gonna die to put dog on point at the beginning of a round, it's just not worth it. You know, if you're like, hey, can we like contest Corey, and her team's like, no, then it's not worth even trying, because then you die immediately.
May this protect you.
Okay. What happened? Okay, why'd you heal your dog randomly? Like, all of this is fine, fine. I would have tried to heal up the term a little bit. I'm not sure why the term that was, one sec. Right here, down here. Like, you putting dog down, I'm okay with that. Like, it's fine. But then you saw the term was low, and then I'm confused what happened.
Oh god, that's so bad.
It's okay. I mean, I think that was like a small issue. It just happened to magnify into like 3 deaths. Oh, one thing I did want to mention. I saw that you had Spirit Arrows 2, the one where you can move the dog more on right click, but you don't move the dog that much at all. So you probably don't need to run that card that high, if at all.
Yeah.
You might find value in some other card.
So that brings me to a question. Somebody said I should be running swift arrows, the movement speed, but with my loadout, I like the moonlight capacity at 4, and I like my regen where it's at, so I feel like I can only.
Like capacity at 3, if I remember correctly.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Okay. The one card you could take out is Moonlight Gardens. That's the get capacity or get resource back on hit. That's nice to have, but speed is also nice to have. You kind of just have to make a choice between the two.
At what point do you feel like speed loses value or like is a waste?
I run it at 3. I wouldn't run it any lower than that.
Okay.
I run it at 4 in one of my other decks, but in my deck I prefer it at 3. But you know, next patch it's getting nerfed. So in like 10 days, who knows?
Uh, let's not talk about the reset. It's fine.
Okay. It definitely helps because I can feel it when I'm getting healed by Speedy IO. And every time I do it to Sam, he's like, I can feel the speed. I'm like, okay, cool. Speed always helps. I think you can definitely try taking out Moonlight Gardens. And then I would suggest for you taking out the Spirit Arrows and replacing that with maybe like 1 point of deploy distance.
Yeah.
A lot of people run that as a filler.
Okay.
Or you could like use Moonlight Gardens as a filler instead of a 3-pointer. Okay.
Escort the payload.
Yeah, that first point fight was
Stop the
just
payload.
fucked up after you died the first time. And then the second time, I think you just lost sight of healing for a second. Which is, I mean, it's whatever, it's 1 point fight.
Enemy rampage.
Nothing you could really do there. The one thing that was really nice was that your tanks ended up buying Resi 3 pretty early on, but that helped you guys a lot. Oh, I would say one thing here. One sec. So when Khan starts pushing you, I would have, like, by the time Khan is at the bottom of the stairs, you know that he's gonna push you. I would just move the dog here, because that body blocks him, and that fucks up his grab, and that even prevents him from walking at you, or anyone else. So try to think about what else dog can do other than contest point. One thing is, it's a nice body blocker thing, kind of like Game Clone.
Okay.
And it didn't really matter because he went in against like 3 people. And then, sorry, 1 second. Also off the, right after the con grab, you heal Cassie, but honestly, she was in no real danger there. And right after a con grab, he is most vulnerable. Do you need me to go back or?
No, I know what you're talking about. The reason I
Okay.
healed her was for some reason I thought she would need like the DR, like in
Okay.
case somebody else was there looking at her. But
Okay.
he kind of just pushed by himself, which,
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's like a really small nitpicky thing. You could put your dog down. Like, here, here, one of these 2 places, here even. Just put it down somewhere. Safe-ish.
Enemy is unstoppable.
Oh, you can also, I know you probably know this, but I didn't see you do it. So just as a reminder, you can also counter ult any ult with your ult just to get the CC immunity or the damage immunity for 1 second. Sometimes it's worth it.
Oh, give me 1 second. Phantasma, hi. I'm not talking, but hi, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. We're doing a VOD review. Sorry. Okay. We can keep going, sorry. I didn't feel like I needed to ult there because the Andrew wasn't even that good. But I was like
He
full
would have killed
HP.
you. I'm surprised. I mean, he could have killed you with his ult because he ulted in your face.
Did he
But
miss twice?
I think he missed twice and then he just got bursted. I was like, wow, I'm surprised he
Yeah,
survived that.
fair enough.
I'm just reminding you, like, there were a couple, I mean, throughout the game, you could have counter ulted a few times if you so chose. I don't know, I ult's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's a good heal. Okay. I think you peeked this Grover a little bit too long, and that's something else that you did a lot this game, where you really like to take damage when you don't have to. When I say you don't have to, I mean you're around this corner. You literally don't ever have to step out from around this corner. You can just stay here and be safe and heal him perfectly fine. But you walked out for like 2 seconds, took 2 or 3 Grover axes for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like those things, that the peeking thing I really think you can work on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know
You died.
why.
It's okay. Sometimes it's just like you're like, ooh, let me see what's out here. But you really don't need to see it. Or even if you like see one, you take one axe and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to be here, and then go back. Like Grover poked you out a lot this game, but you kind of let him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then like you don't have to walk this way. Like he's still here. um, I just yeah. You were like, I'm safe. I'm like, but he can still chunk you pretty hard. Okay, so basically, okay, so the whole thing about peeking is you should almost always be healing from some kind of cover, like behind a wall or hugging a corner, and you should almost never, you shouldn't ever be peeking damage unless you're rotating. So like you should be hugging something, hugging something, healing, and then if you need to rotate somewhere, that's like your riskiest. That should be when you're most in danger of taking damage, because like the rotation you just made, you literally like walked from the left side all the way to the right side, like out in the open, right? I'm not saying that was a bad rotation. I'm just saying
No.
when you want to rotate, that's when you should be the riskiest, or when you should be taking the most damage, because you're crossing from A to B in the open. You know, I'm saying the same thing like 5 times.
No, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Is it worth in like I don't think it is, but maybe I'm is it worth using leap to cross that faster if there were more pressure?
Yeah, I would have used leap there.
Okay.
I would use leap because it looked pretty safe after, if how do I describe this? Like it looked pretty safe. Like you wouldn't have to. You weren't like leaping into a dangerous spot. So you should have, by the time someone may or may not push you next time, your leap should be up. You know, it's okay to use your mobility to get to your next spot. Like for Damba Slither, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
just have to be like sure that like the place you're choosing to rotate to is a relatively safe spot.
Okay.
Here, again, you're playing out in the open, and there's no need for you to. I'm actually confused why you're this right here. So you went from behind that corner to here to here. Like you walked this way. I thought you were gonna just play from here, which is okay, but then we went back to the left, and now you're out in the open again. Like this is like the widest angle you could be peeking possibly. Like you're literally peeking everything that could be shooting you down main. So either like just choose something. Like even if you're here, this would be suboptimal, I think, because their team is regrouping and they could easily push you through this, in which case you're kind of fucked. But even if you were here, it would be better than where you are right now.
Okay.
Do you agree?
It's a strat.
It's a strat.
But I
Like, hey, shoot me, I'm free to shoot. So anyways, this is suboptimal. This is okay over here, or where you started originally, which was behind that corner. Totally great.
Okay.
Do you feel it?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
This is what I live for. This is what I need. It's fine. Oh look.
I'm surprised you didn't take that much damage. You only took like a third of your health. Yeah, at this point, I know what happened here. You know, he dove in versus 5. At this point, you leave him to die. I'm not kidding. Like you don't sacrifice yourself. You stayed in way too long healing him, and you saw how much damage. Like, you juked a couple of Rover axes, but if you were better, you would be dead. I still think, yeah, you stayed in way too long. You should have like backed as soon as you saw it was term versus 4 or 5, like just literally leave him to die. Like he's not living through that, right? You agree?
Yeah.
So just like walk back, forget about your dog. Your dog doesn't matter at this point. Just walk back as much as possible. It's fine to use your leap, but I don't know why you left this. What did you land here? I would have expected you to just back up this ramp. That's like your safest bet always, just towards your base.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think I tried leaping onto high ground and then didn't make it. I think that might have been
Okay.
what happened, but it's
I
fine.
feel
It's
so awkward trying to leap onto high ground, so I just pick an easy leap. Like I would have just left from where I was before and then just gone, or you should have been, you know, behind this corner, and then just use the leap for distance.
yeah.
So you would have entered like here and then walk the rest of the way up. And then once you're relatively safe, you can put you can put Luna down like here again as kind of like a roadblock.
Okay.
Killing spree. 30 seconds remaining.
That's fine. This angle's fine.
Enemy rampage.
Yeah, playing from here is so awkward. You just have to take so much damage.
Seconds
I
remaining.
wouldn't have dropped.
Yeah. When I was rewatching, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
You or the term?
No,
Or
me.
both?
Mostly me, but I
Okay.
mean
I mean, the term kind of. It was debatable whether you needed to put your dog on the cart that early because it's dead now when you need it more, you know? So I wouldn't even have deployed it.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible that the term like would have just leapt off the cart and then
Yeah.
yelled at you about why is dog not on cart, blah blah blah. But like slightly smart term would like contest, you know. I don't know. But at this point, the dog's dead. You have 18 seconds. It's useless.
7,
But yeah, I wouldn't have dropped there.
4, 3, 2.
So I wouldn't. So ideally, what I would have done is, I like that you came out the spawn door left side because down mid you're gonna take so much damage just like walking towards the ledge. That was fine. Heal the term. If like after you heal him, it was pretty clear that he was gonna live for at least a little while. So then your rotation to like the mid side was fine. Keep healing him. If at some point he looks like he's about to die or he's out of your line of sight, like I would not drop. Then at that point deploy your dog. So then you buy some more time.
1.
Um,
Overtime.
wait, did you use you used your leap, but you didn't end up back on high ground? Okay. I would have used the leap to go back on high ground. And by high ground, I mean like your spawn doors. Like, it ended up okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm screaming over voice chat right now.
Yeah, I think you were.
Lord.
It's okay. So you bought Haven and Nimble. That's fine. So Andro should be your biggest threat. Plus the Grover axes.
Yeah.
But Andro diving you and Grover sniping you. And the Mani somehow didn't matter.
5,
Okay, that's fine.
4.
I like to
3,
buy
2.
Master Riding. Did you buy any in this game?
I can't remember.
Master Riding, would that also, okay, I feel like on every support in every game, you should just always buy Master Riding, because when supports are dead, but your team goes to shit, so the
Yeah.
faster you get back, the better. But especially on IO, when you're trying to put your dog on point at first, it's safer, obviously, right? If you reach it first and there's no one in sight, then you can back out safely. Okay, so you tried this side. Oh, it's fine, that's good. This is okay. I'm okay with this. Do you look at this icon of the dog's health down in the corner or no?
Sometimes, probably not as frequently as I should.
Okay.
Oh.
I would say I know it's hard to pay attention to this, but at the beginning of a point fight, when the point is being contested, I would keep an eye on this because it's going to go down probably. They're going to be shooting it. So I would have just pulled it right here. Term is on point, at least for a while. Even if he dies, like if he dies and your dog dies, it's kind of bad, right? So just pull the dog at this point.
Okay.
Or you could have told Term during the whatever between rounds that he doesn't have to be on point right away. You could have tried to counter ult that, not for yourself, but for the Term, so that he takes less damage from people, because everyone was shooting him, but everyone shooting him was like on point. So if you just like ulted them, they can't shoot him for a brief second. It's just an idea. Yes, I know, Norf, which is you. That was weird. So I wouldn't have gone that way. I think your pathing was a bit strange. Hold on. I guess, okay, so here, you try to save him. So, I think you're just a little bit slow, like he's obviously gonna die. So maybe like a second earlier, when he's at a sliver of health, just back out.
Oh, it
'Cause at
hurts
that
me.
Why?
Because I don't like.
I think it's a little slow in backing out sometimes. Like you just stay to like heal the suicidal Term or like the like the 4v1 that's not gonna go
Oh
in
my
your favor.
god.
And then like if you were a little bit faster, you wouldn't have lost this health, I think. Like honestly, because they didn't even look at you for a while and you just stayed here and shot them while they didn't look at you, and then when they finally looked at you, you lost already like 600 health, 500 something. So if you had that health, you wouldn't even have had to leap, I would say. And if like I think you left this way because you had no other choice, because ideally you would have like come this way, backed out here, and then like hugged that corner or gone up this ramp. But at this point, or you know what? Even if you left here, you can go to the right and use those that ramp as cover. But you go to the right and then you back out to the left, but you're out in the open, so you just take free damage. Where are you going? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, you looked for cover, but you didn't look for the closest cover, so that was your problem there.
Okay. I was going for the. I don't know
Were you,
why.
were you
I
gonna
thought.
get closer to Cassie?
Yeah, I was like, save me, please. But honestly, if I hit, it was just an Inara. I could have just like. It was
Cassie
dumb.
could have helped you if you lived a little longer, but like to get closer to your Cassie, you took more damage.
Yeah,
That was all.
that makes sense.
I guess you didn't die here, which is great, but you should have died, I think. That's good, you saved her. That's fine, that's fine. I'm gonna put Doc here, good, okay. Okay, this is really nice. Were you just setting up for this the whole time?
No, it just kind of happened, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so back out harder. Oh god. So that's again a case of like, if you backed up 2 seconds earlier, that would have been 100% better. Okay, this up to here, this is all great. Like awesome, great plays. And then immediately, like literally immediately, back out towards this cover. This is like the default cover, I would say. You already have dog on point. You've killed the only thing on point. There's nothing else for you to do on point. Do you agree?
Yes, in this type of situation, do I trust that my team will come back to me if they need healing? I think that might have been why I tried to stay, because I knew that they were fighting.
Okay, you're trying to heal the Rom. Okay, as soon as the Rom dies, you still took 2 extra shots at Inara. So you tried to heal the Rom, he dies. You took 2 shots. I would have like not taken those 2 shots, immediately dashed backwards to the left.
Okay.
At this point, you took half your health for no reason, I think. So I think the general idea was pretty good. But you tend to die a lot for your teammates, especially the ones who are already going to die. And then that makes it so that you don't back out early enough. That's fine. You know, you don't actually even have to, I mean, it's okay that you do. This is not terrible. Like, you don't have to put the dog on there, because you're getting contests when it was like 50-50. It doesn't really do anything except stall, but I guess stalling's okay. I mean, that term got fucked by CC all game. It was great.
Yeah.
I guess you just had to try to touch, which is okay. That one is okay, because like, you tried to touch.
Escort the payload. Stop the payload.
These spirits do not rest.
Ow, this stings worse than sunburn. May this protect you.
A little bit late on that. As soon as you, like, it's, okay, usually when Andro dashes up 3 times into the air, a lot of times he's just ulting. I mean, sometimes he doesn't. But even if you see him dash up 3 times in the air, that's kind of like sort of committing all of his mobility to that one, you know, whatever, one set of dashes. So I would have dashed back immediately around this corner. Like, you waited until he was up in the air. His ult line went off and he shot 2 shots before you moved. I think he just missed on you.
Yeah, he's wasn't the best. I should have died way more.
Yeah. I think you should have died right there. Okay, yes, I know Nara pushes you here.
So, we were having a spicy debate about this. What could I have avoided that an arm push?
Not really. Sometimes that just happens. Like, your team is playing really far forward and you're getting pushed and they're not responding. Maybe drop the dog here. That slows her down a little bit. But unless your team turns for you, I don't see what, like, you just lost 2, you only have 3 alive, and they're both like much more forward than you, and they don't see that Inara's pushing into you.
Okay.
So your best bet is to slow her down. Like, you have to like see that your team just lost 2. You have to be really like play really scared, and then just assume that anyone like close to you might push you. So walk backwards as soon as possible. I would have just, you need to let people die sometimes, or like you're kind of enabling them to play in bad positions because you're the only one who's dying because you're healing them, right?
That was actually mind-blowing, that statement, not gonna lie. Like,
No, it's because
No.
I used to do the same thing like a lot. I mean, I still do it, but just less so.
that's insane. That made it click. Cool.
Cool. So just play a lot more scared and try to value your own life over your teammates' lives. I hear you're just fucked anyways. If you could have gotten, I think maybe initially there was enough distance, but it's hard to say. But if you could have gotten here, again, like find some kind of corner or cover. Maybe you could have made it out. I mean, it was close, kind of, sort of. Like the buck had respawned. Did she kill the buck too? No, okay.
Okay,
Good
Grover.
thing- Okay. 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 First of all, I wouldn't have. The cart is close enough where I wouldn't have dropped. You want to wait at least a little bit to know for sure if it's safe to drop. Because dropping from high ground for supports when the cart is that close on a push is really dangerous. Like, think about Bright Marsh, right? Like, at least on split zone, you can get back to high ground easily. I mean, you can also as IO on Bright Marsh, but whatever. In general, as a non-vertical mobility support, it's like suicidal if you drop.
Yeah.
You know? So you
Yeah,
should just play with the same mindset, kind of, sort of. I guess, okay, kind of, sort of. Just like at least start from that. Okay, but at least to go back. That's fine. I guess it's okay because if you stayed on high ground, you couldn't have done anything. So you're still kind of on high ground. That Grover like really likes to shoot you. Why did you go over here? Why?
It was for the
What was-
frags.
What frag? You want to like let Grover damage you? I'm confused. You're like, shoot me. I'm putting myself in a great position.
I have this tendency where when we win a fight, I'm like, okay,
No.
we need to
You're
apply
the
pressure. We need
support.
to fucking go, boys. But then I realize that I'm the support
Um,
and it never works out.
A, you're a support, and B, you're on the defense. If this is like the point fight, I guess that's a little bit different. But even on point fight, you're still the support. You shouldn't be leading the charge. So like you literally like wasted your jump to take more damage. Okay. A good place to put dog is just here. Just block that doorway. It's actually annoying to have to like deal with the dog when you're trying to run through here. Basically try to think of placing your dog in obnoxious places to block people from walking through when it's not doing anything else. If you put the dog here also, it can shoot the Inara. And she can choose to either shoot the term or the dog, you know?
Okay.
Like right now, I don't think, where is your dog? It's either not deployed or, oh my god, you took so much damage. What the hell? Okay, this is okay. Fine. See, there was almost like no reason even for you to have walked all the way over to the right to look at these two full health. Were you checking if someone was coming down main?
I think I was trying to figure out what kind of position I wanted to hold if they were pushing that direction.
Oh, definitely not there. So your best bets again are the same ones I said before. Suboptimal, but okay for a while. Here, best. Like, you know, right off the screen, left side of here, like right at the bottom of the ramp. Fine. Like these two are the best still. Where you are right now, less optimal. Because you're backing onto the ramp, but the wrong way. Oh no, this is okay. Okay, I thought you were like somewhere else. It's fine. This is okay, but I wouldn't back out this way. It's okay-ish, but not really, because you can, if someone was pushing up here or through here, you just take all that damage, potentially. Like, there's no reason for you to. Maybe you're setting up here so that in case you wanted to heal someone here. I would just have stayed right here and like here. And as soon as someone pushes you, like you kind of just, again, wide peek that Grover way too much. There was almost no need for you to leap, just like walk backwards.
Probably would have been safer to not.
Yeah, I mean, you leaping actually put you in a worse position.
Yeah.
If that's, it sounds weird to say, but it literally like made everyone able to shoot you. But if you did like if you leapt and hit your head against this thing, you might have been fine. Oh god. I mean, you can't help if your team is overzoning. The only thing you can do is make sure that you don't overzone with them. Wait, why'd you drop again? Confused. So fucked. In one of these cases, you can always do a Hail Mary ult and try to push them all the way back, just to disrupt them as well. And also the thing I said earlier about you don't have to put the dog on point when Term is still contesting it, just so you can save. Wow. You're lucky that you
Yeah.
do that. How do you guys defend this somehow? It's fucking amazing. Ooh. That's okay. Oh my god, that Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's like me trying to play Andro. It's so bad, dude.
You
So
don't want to see
bad.
me try. I just don't bother. Ah, you, you don't have to be here. Why? Okay, this is like, you ended up okay, but it's so scary to watch because you're literally on cart in the middle of everybody, and there's no need for you to be. Like, at worst, you can be playing from behind this stone formation thing, I think is what it is. You know, the bot or whatever.
The
Is it
thing.
boxes over here? This thing, yeah. Just
Yeah.
play from behind here. You'd still take less damage, but like playing literally in front of the cart, like why? Why? And yeah, I don't know. It's confused. You're just too close. Like you feel very safe out in the open, but I don't feel safe watching you. I think your team starts going left after here, right?
I think
So
so,
yes,
yeah.
this is the first point that Buck goes asleep, which is amazing. So Cassie is on your team. Okay, so you see where they are, right? That's fine if you leave the dogs there. See, this is where I wanted you to play initially like during the first round, but there's actually no reason for you to be here now because your Buck is here and no one else is here. So you can safely play from here and you can see the Term just fine and you can see the Buck. So right now you backed all the way out here, which is a safer place to play, but you can't see the Buck.
Okay.
Oh god. And okay, so if you choose to play there, do you see what happened? You took 2 Grover axes for no reason. So if you choose to play here, use this wall corner thing, whatever, to peek. So you know IO has like a 1 second tolerance, right? Once you
Yeah.
start the heal. So sometimes I'll just like either do like a left-right kind of jiggle or like a up-down kind of jiggle if you're healing from like Frog Isle behind that wall or something. Just so like you want to minimize the amount of damage that's coming to you, and you're like literally standing where everyone can hit you, and there's no need for you to. So like you think about IO as like a mini Saris channel, right? As soon as you start their Saris channel, you stop peaking all the damage. You start the channel, and then you immediately shift behind the wall. Well, IO kind of do that too. You just have to like go like this a little bit more. So because you didn't do that, Grover like chunks you. And Inara, I don't know if it would have blocked it, but maybe Inara could have just like ulted past the Term and ulted you. I don't know, but you're just like in everyone's face. Now you rotate because Imani is pushing you. So you guys didn't. Okay, so Cassie's playing high ground. I assume she didn't take right side.
Yeah, and our Rom is doing wrong.
I don't know where he is.
He's trying to get the
Over
Amani.
here. Is this wrong?
Who's even
Oh
up
my
there?
god.
And he's look at how low he's not even full H. Paladins.
So this means you definitely should have played. You should have hugged the Corey side a lot harder this round, given where your team was set up. Because before your team was set up to cover the right side, and the left was kind of not free. But this time the left was completely free, and the right side was not free. So you got pushed from the right. Again, you already lost this much health when you shouldn't have at all. I don't think. If you just been here the whole time, you probably would have been fine, honestly. Because everyone is set up like back here, right? And then if they push you from this side, you at least have some cover initially. Like they have to commit a lot harder. Yeah, I don't know. At that point, you had already lost too much health. I wouldn't say like left side was super safe, but you could have like played around the corners there. That was probably your safest bet.
Spirits do not rest.
Yeah, that was okay. I don't know. I don't know what we could have done there. That was kind of just a lost fight. Again, you could try to ult when everyone on their team is on point, grouped up. You could just try to like try an ult and see if that gets them off point. You can also ult for damage if they're all grouped up anyways. Your heals are fine for the most part. That's fine. Okay. Just be really careful about pushing past that doorway. I know you want to heal the Cassie, but I don't think you should have tried that. Because you did take damage peeking that. And you should have. You know what I mean?
I probably should have
Just wait for her to
rotated
back out
left
here.
or
Yeah. Just like, if you just stopped. This is all okay. You just stopped here. This is perfect. Like, you look, you see nothing, just back out.
Okay.
And wait for Kathy, and she kind of does this anyways. Wait for Kathy to back out here. You can heal her through here. Perfectly fine. I wouldn't have chased that. Like, you did a kind of cool dash, but you didn't have to. You just overcommitted for that heal so hard. So at this point, you haven't moved the dog in like 30 seconds. Doing nothing. It's not a big deal, but you could have moved it. Again, to like block a doorway or something. That putting the dog here is fine. I would move it at this point. Did you? No. So it actually, did you see how nice it was you had the dog here? Because it kind of, everyone was chasing, but then they had to get past the dog.
Yeah.
So that was good. But then when it was low and they stopped chasing, just move it so they can heal out of combat. You know the dog heals out of combat, right? Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
don't know that, apparently.
I won't lie, I didn't realize that, like, for a long time. It was only recently I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not like written anywhere.
High res.
Oh my god, why are you dying to Grover? Oh, because the con stunned you? Yeah, I don't know, that happens to me too.
Good aim.
Yeah, that's just unlucky to get the con there.
Double kill.
I'm sure a better player would have seen it, but I also missed that like a lot.
30 seconds remaining.
That's actually okay. To like stall for a little bit if you wanted to. I don't think it was necessary, but whatever.
May this protect you.
15 seconds remaining.
Again, if you just shift like marginally to the left, you just take a little bit less damage. Do you see what I mean? If you just like make it so that you have LOS on this on your heal targets, but you break LOS from their damage, just better for you. Just in general.
Okay.
Just a little bit here, just in the doorway, instead of wide here.
10, 9,
Um,
8, 7, 6,
okay. I guess it's okay.
3, 2.
I would just help clean up the NR just in case. Where are you guys from? Same idea, I guess. Oh, you did buy macerating. Okay, cool. Yeah, these items are fine. If you wanted to, you could have gotten resilience for the root in case in our ults, in case you get rooted, in case you get grabbed. That would have been okay too. But I think macerating 2 is better. I think that's what you bought last, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, hold on. A lot just happened. I'm trying to think why I want to say this. I want to say I always want to put the dog on point from here and not from here, and I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like there's a reason, but I can't think of it right now. But whatever, it's okay. Like con ult, Andrew ults, but dies, which is hella lucky. So you have 200 health at this point, and you guys traded Buck for Andrew, so it's pretty even. And you have dog on point, so I would say you guys are winning. At this point in time, look at your health and back the fuck out. Do not walk down. If you literally had just backed out slowly on high ground, you would have been perfectly alive. Can you explain to me why you dropped?
I was afraid that like I was gonna get ice bombed or something from around the corner, but I don't even know if they knew that I was there. Looking back at it,
I don't think so. I think you just always take the most obvious, safest route, unless you know for sure. Like if you knew for sure you're gonna get ice bombs going back, then don't. Then take a riskier route. But in any other case, take the safer route back.
and I was kind of hoping Term would siphon for me, but it's fine.
I know what you're saying, but I don't even think like he needed to if he just walked backwards. Like you guys are still in it right now. It's like not a big deal. Okay, so can you explain to me why you like playing out of this room? This room is so bad, I feel, for supports because you can get people just walk through here and you're fucked, right? People can walk through here, people on point can shoot you, people from quarry can shoot you. You're so fucked.
I actually have no clue why I was here.
Okay.
Won't
Like
even
I think it's okay to play here for a while, but then staying here for a long time, it's so easy for them to collapse on you from this side. I mean, they ended up shooting you from coming into the room from here, and then you had nowhere to back out into either. I think if you had just played in quarry, you would have been totally fine, in my opinion. You guys might have been. I mean, it was like really close at the end. It might have made the difference. Like, you guys are actually, well, I guess even still, but you're up a point tank, which is all that matters. That you guys cap. Okay, fine, fine, all good, all good.
Enemy killing spree.
Okay, so the first time you were in here, you left pretty fast, and you were fine. but I don't know why you backed into here again.
Oh god, I got fucked in here.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's okay to stay here temporarily if you're sure that you're safe, but it's really hard to know for sure that you're safe in this room. It's easier to see because Corey has better sightlines, and it's harder for them to just get to you really quickly, you know? Like playing from here or from behind there is like normal positions. And no one's contesting Corey. If no one's contesting it, you're probably okay. You have like no cover here. Oh my god. I know what you went for. I don't even know if the so even after here, I would say you went for this. This didn't work out. And ours won. Whatever. Your dog just died. You're on point. You still have. I'm not sure, but I think you were still. If you just turned to look to the left, to the right side, maybe you would have been okay if you looked and seen where they were and it was okay, whatever. My point is, I think you still could have had time to back out into here, either walk this way or walk this way. I mean, you would be like really out in the open, but you're full health, and I don't really know where their team is. And maybe you wouldn't have been, but maybe you could have been. And you used to keep backing out into this room. But I think, yeah, Cassie should have peeled for you there with the Amani. But at that point, like, your team positioning was so fucked. And that was basically the game. Okay, I'm sorry, that went like really long.
Oh no, no, no,
That's
no.
all I gotta say. The end of the game, like, after you died, that was it. After you died, your team got pushed back, and
Yeah.
I don't think anything else happened.
No.
Yeah, that's it. That was game. So that, I mean, that game was like really close, and your team started to play better after they got more resilience and as the game went on in general.
Yikes.
But
Ugh. I probably. Oh, I threw so hard.
no, you're fine. If you, dude, everyone throws in every game.
Oh, god damn it.
It's just because we went over your gameplay in excruciating detail.
No, I feel like I made mistakes. Sure. Last point fight, holy shit, that was free. It was free.
I don't think
If
it was
I
free.
didn't
I
die.
think, yeah, it was like it went back and forth, but you guys, even when your teams were trading picks, you guys were still doing better because you were alive and you had dog on point. So, you know, you were up on cap, which means you guys had the advantage. Just think about rotating the Corey side a bit more because that's typically gonna be safer. I usually only go into the room on the right if Corey's like not safe at all, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to stand. Alternatively, another place you could stand is fuck, that like right behind, like you know, one of the beginning of the point fights when you drop the dog off, like where you're standing right outside here.
On
You
the
know what I'm
ramp?
talking about?
Yeah.
No, not the ramp. Like
Oh.
over to the wall of the room.
Oh, behind the boxes?
Yeah,
Things?
yeah. Like that's also an okay-ish place to play at like the end of a 3-3 if no one's pushing you either way. It's not great. I would still prefer like, you know, this side. This side is gonna be safer typically. I just hate that little room.
Yeah, it's kind of a death trap.
Yeah.
Damn.
But point is, in general, just like don't peek extra damage if you don't have to. And
Yeah.
yeah, like try to use the fact that you get that 1 second leeway after you start a heal so that you don't have to keep peeking the line of sight. I mean, you're fine for the most part.
Nice. Well, this has been great, not gonna lie.
As it, I feel like it was a long time. I talked too slow.
What? No, no,
I
no.
don't
I
know.
really appreciate it. I really do.
Okay.
I feel like I learned, picked up a thing or two that I could apply.
Cool.
So